Okay. Test, 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 test. Test, 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 test. Okay, it works. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the Ronnie Show. So glad you could be with us here this afternoon. We are on a little over half an hour later than usual, 35 minutes to be exact, here today. That's because we're coming to you live from a different location. It's our regular studio we have here. Um, so, yeah, obviously today is laundry day for me, so I'm obviously here doing that right now. In fact, by the time this show is over with this afternoon, I think it'll be done. So, yeah, well, or tonight if you're on the East time zone, because it is now officially the evening over there. Well, I guess I still consider 5 o'clock, like, well, at least like here in the Central time zone, I still consider 5:30 is like the true start of the evening. Even though 5 o'clock, I guess, technically is when that starts. So, yeah. And then on the East Coast, I think, like I said, it just kind of depends on the East, time zones and things like that. So, but anyway, no matter what time it is, whether you're watching us live or you're watching us later on, we're so glad you're watching us here today. There was no show yesterday because, safe to say, ever since Monday's show, to be quite honest with you, I've been a little under the weather. I'm not going to lie. You might be able to tell from the sound of my voice. I'm still kind of plugged up a little bit. I'm not as sick as I typically would get when I'm like plugged up and my nose is running, I'm coughing, it wasn't as bad. It's just, a lot of congestion and, getting it out basically. So, I haven't missed any class, which is good. So, yeah, but that's why. And plus, my voice wasn't really in top shape either. It still kind of really isn't, but it's doing well enough today where, it shouldn't be an issue for the 15 minutes we're on here every afternoon. So, yeah, I mean, it's like I said, you still can kind of hear I still sound like a monster, but you know what? It happens. It happens, okay? And we just move on. So, yeah, hello, Michael. So obviously, as you know, kind of going back to Monday's show, things kind of went off the rails early. So we're going to try and not have that happen this time. We had some trolls, of course. So, yeah, we'll try and not to have that happen here this afternoon. But, some things just happen, and that honestly really is true. So, yeah, like my sickness, my little cold that I've been having. So, yeah, so I guess we'll kind of recap. How are you? I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Despite, like I said, I'm still kind of recovering from a cold. But you know what? Other than that, I'm fine. So, yeah, I guess we'll kind of recap the past, 48 hours, really, because we haven't had a show since Monday. So, yeah, Monday night, like I said, after the show was really when I started to experience the beginnings of my cold. So, yeah, I had dinner, and it's still, I was starting to go a little downhill a little bit. And usually the first symptom I have whenever I am sick with my allergies acting up and things like that is I feel like a funny feeling in the back of my throat. And it was there, but, like, it wasn't as, what's the word I'm looking for? Uh-oh, messages held for review. What is it? We're going to hide that one because, yeah, that was a little interesting. We'll just say that. I'm not going to see, well, I guess if you can kind of read my lips, you saw what I said and what the comment was, but yeah, we're not going to reveal that, obviously. So as I was saying, yeah, I had a little bit of a funny feeling in the back of my throat, but it wasn't it wasn't bad per se. And then I woke up Tuesday morning, and then of course it was obviously worse than it was the night before. So I went to class like normal, but it was a struggle. I mean, Tuesdays are usually like the biggest week out of, or is like the biggest day out of my week, when it comes to college and things like that, because I have 3 classes on Tuesday and they're back to back to back. So from 8 a.m. to just after noon. So it was a bit of a challenge to get through that. Um, but eventually in the end I did. So, and I'm really glad I did, hello, pretty girl. And then Mr. Bone, I went to class today too. Oh, you're just joking. Not a good thing. Not a good thing to skip class. No, because, and I feel this every morning. I'm like, oh, I don't want to go to class. Like this, that, and the other thing. Like, because I, obviously, as you know, the only reason why I even really go to school is, well, to hang out with my friends. Well, a lot of kids my age kind of feel like that nowadays, but um, I will tell you one thing. Well, I mean, especially in college when you can kind of choose whether or not you want to go or not. You don't need, the parents to call in or things like that. I'm not saying you should skip. I'm not advocating for that. But I will say every single time I go to class when I'm like, ugh, I don't want to go, I'm always so glad that I do. Like, really, I am. So, because you don't want to miss anything. And especially, too, like, and I didn't really experience this last semester with any of my professors, but like there's I think 2 or 3 of them this semester where like they're counting attendance as part of like your final grade. So like, if you want to get a good grade, you can't just be skipping every other class basically, which in a way I kind of like that, but in a way, if you're sick for like a really long period of time, then like is that really necessary? And then even by that point they request a doctor's note. So yeah, I mean, in a way I understand it, but in another way, I mean, you could see that there's several problems with that. So but anyway, that's just the way it is sometimes. Yeah, and then kind of all day Tuesday, even though I was kind of sick, I worked on some things for this YouTube channel and what I really need to do, and I'm going to do that later on tonight, once we'll get to that here shortly, is catch up on work from Tuesday. So, yeah, and that's kind of the good thing about missing school nowadays is that, with technology and things like that, you could just pretty much, well, especially in college, most assignments are online, so you could just catch up there, and that excuse me, that helps in a way as well. So helps if you've missed. So um, yeah, so I did that all day yesterday, and then today, obviously, I, woke up and went to class, duh. And then I came back. As you know, I was trying out this new routine where what I would do is that, every single morning, because I have an 8 a.m. class every single morning, what I would do is that I'd get up, obviously like 20 minutes before class starts, and then just kind of hurry out the door. And then after my first class, I'd come back and take a shower because I'd have the time to do that. I'm kind of switching it back this week. I'm trying out something new. What I'm doing is that I'm now going to bed at 10 p.m. on school nights, Sunday through Thursday night. I'm doing that. And waking up at like 7:15-ish, somewhere in there, and because you still get a little over 9 hours of sleep that way too, which is good for you. So I've tried it this week. I haven't really been standing firm to that, to be quite honest with you. I've been horrible at it this week, I will admit. But the only reason why I did that was because Sunday night, obviously we had the game and things like that. I was just exhausted, if I'm being honest with you. So I pretty much just clocked out for the night, and yeah, so obviously we have tonight and then tomorrow night. Obviously I'm not going to be as strict about it on the weekends because we'll probably be on the air, oh, especially on Saturday nights. So when we're on the air doing our broadcasts, but yeah, hello Cassandra Austin. Although not this Saturday, actually. We'll actually be off the air by about 9 o'clock Eastern time on Saturday night, because that's just the way the schedule worked out. So it'll be an early evening on Saturday night. So because we'll have the Musketeers game, and that starts at 6:10 p.m. Eastern time. So yeah, and then we're also going to do college basketball, Michigan and Duke, and that'll get done right around 9 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll have that as well. So yeah, and then after that, me and my friends plan to go out, but we'll get to that. We have to get to tomorrow first before we even think about the weekend. So yeah, Thursday. Well, no, kind of talking about. Yeah, I guess we can talk about what's going on the next 24 hours. I guess right before we come back on the air for tomorrow. Basically, well, today obviously is Ash Wednesday, so I'll be going to a service with my grandma tonight, and then they have like a dinner right before then too, which I'll go to that as well. And then let's see here. After that, I'll pretty much hang up my laundry from, because it's going on right now downstairs. So, yeah, I'll kind of hang that up and then do Tuesday stuff that I missed from school on Tuesday. So, yeah, and that'll pretty much be my night, I think. So, yeah, and then obviously tomorrow I only have 2 classes. It's kind of funny because as you go on later on in the week, my days kind of get shorter and shorter in terms of class, but that's just the way it is. Because tomorrow I have my first class at 8 a.m. It goes till 9:15, and then I have basically an hour and a half off until my next class, and I plan to get a lot of work done during that time. So, yeah, and hopefully I will. Hopefully I will. So, yeah, and then I think that'll pretty much take us up to our next episode tomorrow. So, yeah. That's all. Let's see. Well, we still got about 2.5 more minutes till we hit the 15-minute mark. So, I guess we can kind of preview this weekend's broadcast schedule. Obviously, Saturday night, and then Sunday afternoon we'll be on. We'll be on at 1 p.m. Eastern time on Sunday. We'll have NBA action, Cleveland and Oklahoma City. Then at the same time, we'll have Ohio State and Michigan State as well, right here in our studio. So, woohoo. So, yeah, make sure you join us for that, because we always have fun with those things around here. We really do. So yeah, it's getting colder, people. Like, I almost blew away today. I'm not going to lie with you on that one. I mean, the wind gusts have got to be nearing 50 miles an hour. I mean, it's just windy and windy and windy. And the even worse part about that is that tomorrow we're supposed to get snow. Not good, not good. But what can you do? What can you do? So, yeah, I think that's it for today. I don't have anything else, I don't think. So yeah, it'll be just short of 15 minutes for this show today, but that's okay. Thank you all so much for watching. Yeah, 65 total viewers. I think that's been a record. So yeah, thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all tomorrow, back at our regularly scheduled time, 4:30 Eastern time. So we'll see you then. Peace out.